excited this morning. I'm Reverend Deborah Young, pastor at this time of the First Christian Spiritualist Church, and we are blessed to have with us a wonderful, wonderful spirit of light. I've known Reverend Deborah Young for many years, dear friend, dear soul sister. She's a wonderful teacher, wonderful. She does wonderful events during the year and solstices and all that. And Reverend Deborah Young is like having your own spiritual muse to inspire your soul. She will enlighten, empower, and surround you with a sense of well-being and a renewed connection with your soul and the divine, which is deeply fulfilling and uplifting. She helps you to understand the spiritual dynamics of your situation, to bring you a divine perspective and clarity to help you transform them. With her open heart and compassionate support, you let go of any fear or confusion and reconnect to your radiant source and open your highest, most joyful path. She's a highly respected and gifted international certified spiritual, intuitive counselor and life coach, spiritual communicator, inspirational speaker, ordained minister, ceremony officiant, and certified master transformational hypnotherapist. Deborah has had natural gifts of clairvoyance since childhood and has passionate love for teaching and inspiring. She has done thousands of readings over the past 30 years and appeared on radio and television and taught over 800 intuitive and spiritual development classes to enhance the power of your higher mind. Let us welcome warmly, please, Reverend Deborah Young.
Hello, everybody. Hello. All right, I'm going to go down the list and start off. Got a point on it. I won't do that to you. Well, I thought about, of course, it's May Day. May Day reminds me of the movie Camelot. Remember oh God, that was so lovely. And then I thought, well, you know what? We've got Mother's Day, which is next Sunday. So I thought, more importantly, I would like to talk about Mother so that you have some things to think about leading up to Mother's Day. How many have mothers? Well, we have all kinds of mothers. We have, of course, we have the birth mother, whether she's up there or still with us. We can have adoptive mothers. We can have foster mothers. We have mothers-in-law. We have godmothers. We have grandmothers. We have Mother Earth, and we have the Divine Mother. Shall we pick one today? No. But how many of you are mothers? Okay, a lot. So we're all up in heaven, and we're having a little talk with our soul family. And we're making decisions about what we'd like to experience, in this lifetime. And it can be your extended soul family as well. And so the child is kind of deciding along with the future parents, what kind of roles they're going to play with each other for one of a trillion reasons. So then, bang, the child comes in, you've got the parents, and sometimes that raising the child and the child's experience of that is fantastic, and sometimes not so good. But even the not so good family situation, it's always something that we have decided to experience, obviously not on a conscious level, in order to almost prove to ourselves how we can shine our light and remember who we are no matter what the situation. We can either drag it in with us further into adulthood or not, but a lot of you have just been very powerful, or you wouldn't even be in this room. So when the child comes in, and I love it, I have several people and some of my clients that are brand new mothers. And they're saying, it's their first child, and they're saying, oh my gosh, I had no idea it was gonna be so hard. It's like, you're just getting started. What are you talking about? Just wait. So yesterday, my daughter took me to Mother's Day lunch early down at sea level, so pretty. And we always exchange Mother's Day gifts because she's a mother too, I acknowledge that. And so she said, Happy Mother's Day. I said, well, honey, Happy Mother's Day to you. Well, she rolls her eyes. Oh, I said, I have a 17-and-a-half-year-old grandson. Need I say more? No, I love him. He's a sweetheart. She said, I just kind of like him to be like 10 years from now, fast forward when all the brain cells are actually firing. And then of course I'm looking back at her as a teenager. She was pretty good, but you know, they're teenagers, you know, they're just not all here yet. And just seeing her go through that thing, I thought, oh, okay. Yes, motherhood is not for the faint-hearted at all. We once asked my mother, if you could do anything over again in your life, what would it be? And she said, not have kids. I thought, at the time I thought, oh my God, how could you say that? She had 4. Back in the day, you had several. All of our family, we only had 1 each. Isn't that weird? And then I thought one day about how each one of us put her through you know what, and back. And I thought, yeah, I can see where she may have said that. So thinking about the relationship with mother, and I have a dear friend, Dale Bach, and she has written a book. It's called If It's Not One Thing, It's Your Mother. And she works a lot with mommy trauma, because I know several people that have hellacious situations with their mothers. And it's taken them a lifetime to get over. Some have not gotten over that. They're still working through that. But she wrote this book to help heal that relationship. And I was thinking about that, and I thought, you know what? My mother is in the great beyond and has been for about 10 years. And I didn't always get along with my mother. She was a fantastic woman. But if you're her child, it's a little different. And I found that I've developed the most wonderful relationship with her now that she's in another dimension. And one reason is because I chose to think about things from her perspective. You know, why she would say some of these weird things that I thought were hurtful, but seeing where she meant them from a different way just kind of came out. That's how I took it. So I started thinking about all the, you know, the little hurts that I had, and there are not a ton of them, and trying to imagine where my mother was coming from, and wishing I had known more about her life. I mean, I knew about her life vaguely, but you don't know a lot of details of why they have the opinions that they have, and where did that come from. So I started asking her questions too late because she'd already gone into Alzheimer's. Although she was, you know how that goes. I mean, they seem normal one minute, and the next minute it's like, what are you talking about? So I was asking a question, I would get a story that might be true, and then I'd ask her about some other situation, and I'd get some big fantasy, no way can that be real. Kind of, I thought, okay, this is not working, because I'm not going to get the story. And then of course she was gone, and I never did get the story. And I wish today so many times that I could have gone back and really gotten the whole story to really know my mother. So I also do a lot of grief counseling. And sometimes there are people that their loved ones are on the way out, but they're not gone yet. And they can be lucid. It's not like everybody's dementia and Alzheimer's. And so I thought, you know, in order to really help them, I need to give them a list of questions, which you can find online, to ask their loved one before they pass, and to get this information now and record it. I have a lot of recordings of my mother's voice, because if we were at Christmas dinner, we're talking or having fun, I just put my phone on record. Thank goodness that I did that, because I have her voice where we're all joking, or she'll say silly things sometimes and we're all cracking up, and then she had the most beautiful voice. She could have been a professional singer, beautiful voice. And sometimes I caught her, singing, and I would click it, and I have that, and it brings me right back. So what I did for you today is I thought of some questions myself, but then I went online and got some other people's questions. So these are 4 pages of questions for you. Now, last night I was printing them out, and it's very dim in my apartment because I don't like bright lights. And I've got the TV on, I'm stapling, and this morning I'm flipping through. And the second and third page, I thought, what is that weird thing? Well, the F, the font, it was copied and pasted direct from online, so it's not my font. It didn't translate too well. I mean, you can read it fine, but when you see it, it's like, what is that? It's like, that's why. So, Reverend Rosie, I'm just going to have you take these and kind of take that, work it around the room. Thank you.
Okay.
So, when you have some of these, now you don't have to sit there and ask, and this doesn't have to be your mother if your mother's here, it can be for sure, but you can use it for your father if he's here, for your loved ones, for your best friends, for anybody that means a lot to you. And then as you record it, don't ask all of these questions at once. You will lose them. They will never speak to you again. They will just shut down. But just here and there, it would be food for thought for you to, to have that information. And when they're no longer here, you'll kind of know more about them and you feel more connected. So I started, this is one thing I did. How many mothers are in spirit? We've had mothers in spirit. Okay, yeah. So what I did was, imagine that my mother does not have the mother title. That is a loaded word. I imagine my mother as a soul friend, a dear friend, which is actually what she is, of the soul family, that came down here with me to be part of, the drama of life together. And I know we have many past lives together, So as I switch from mother into soul friend, it lightens any of the yucky parts of it. And I'm now able to really kind of go into my inner mind and see more of who she really was, more than I knew when she was here, because we know them as mother and that dynamic that we're bouncing back and forth all the time. Whereas a soul friend, when you understand where they come from, it's a whole different ballgame, and it's a whole different relationship. And it gives me a lot of excitement because it's beautiful and it's wonderful. So I encourage you to, if your mother is in the spirit, you can even take some of the questions and ask and see what answers you get, but definitely use them for the people that are here now so that you have that bond. Now, a way to honor your mothers in spirit, I'll tell you one way I honored mine, is to do something that they really enjoy, and do it with love and do it with fun. Because when you're thinking of them and you're doing something like that and you're having fun, your energy is raised. And when it's raised, you're in connection with them much better than if you're sad. Like, oh, she's gone, she's gone. So what I do in honor of her sometimes, when we used to go shopping, she loved to shop. Yay, shop. And then we'd stop for lunch or we'd stop for a coffee. And she would always, even when I was a little girl, I wouldn't have the coffee, she would order, she said, I want like a hot cocoa and a coffee mixed together. So it's like she invented the cafe mocha. Starbucks, you can't use that. Her name was Kit. And so what I do sometimes is I'll go into a Starbucks. She loves Starbucks. And so I go in there and it's always hysterical. I will tell the baristas, I'll say, okay, I want to pay for whatever coffee people buy the most, whatever that is, with your tip. Which is, by now it's like, that's $10 nowadays with everything. Used to be like 5 with tip, now it's 10 with tip. So I said, and I want you to do me a favor. I don't want it for me, I just want to pay you. And the next person that comes up to order that, or the person that you feel needs to have a free coffee, I'll leave it up to your choice, then you give this to them from Angel Kit. And then I tell them the story about my mom, and you can tell them the story. Now, I never knew how it worked out, because I never went back to find out, what happened. But every time I do that, but it's not often, it's maybe 3-4 times a year, the people I'm talking to get so excited. And then I see them talk to the other barista, oh, guess what we're gonna do? And they're all like, oh, yay, yay, yay. So I walk out of there feeling really good and chuckling, because I know my mother's going, whoa, this is fun. So, when you think of something little to do for your mother in spirit, it could be something so simple as just walking through a park, smelling flowers, and just sitting there and thinking of her and saying, Mom, let's imagine that we're playing in this park together. So go into your mind and imagine if she were here, money was no object, she's perfectly fine, probably looks younger than you, what would you do? So, for example, when I think of my mother, again, she loves to shop, so I imagine that we're in Paris, and we're shopping, and we stop at the Ritz for high tea. She loves high tea, and elegant high teas, and she's very talkative, like me, and she talks with everybody. She's very warm and very friendly, and she's talking to everybody that passes by just about in a kind, non-intrusive way. And just sitting there and enjoying watching her be her with her bubbly personality. She's like a more sophisticated Debbie Reynolds kind of person. And I am so filled with joy because in my mind, everything is very vivid. The sound, the sight, the smell, seeing the little trays with the little goodies on it, and oh, isn't that a pretty one? Oh, that's a pretty one. Making everything as real as possible. And when you do that, your mothers are actually really, really, really there with you, enjoying the same thing. So when you get back over to heaven, she's gonna say, oh, I loved how you developed our relationship, and you just didn't think of me all the time like, oh, I wish my mom was here. You let me be here with you, and thank you for resolving any of, whatever was going on, and not hold on to it. I had so much fun with you. This is so cool. And for you, once you come out of that imagery, you're filled up because you've been with her. You feel her. You've experienced her. So you don't walk around sad because you miss her, because how can you miss her? You were just with her. And you feel lifted up. So that's kind of how I handle Mother in that situation. And then we also have our beautiful Mother Earth, which is so lovely. And it's also a time to think about Mother Earth. We're living on her. We're, made of flesh and blood. We're part of the earth and the stars. And it's a good time to go in and give reverence to Mother Earth in whatever way you want. I live, fortunately, on Balboa Park, and it's all glass, a corner unit, so I see the bell tower, I see this expanse of green and the people in the picnic, so I see this 24/7. which is so nurturing because I feel like I'm always in there. But my favorite thing to do is to walk in a park and sit under one of the trees, especially the great big Morton Bay fig at the corner of 6th and Laurel, right there going into the park. It's a gigantic tree. So powerful, and you know those roots are going really far, deep and wide, and you see them above the ground as well. But the power of Mother Nature, just pulling it in and then giving thanks back. She's also your mother. So happy Mother's Day to Earth. We just had an Earth Day kind of thing to celebrate as well. Well, every day should be Earth Day. She needs our love and our healing and our support. Big time. So whatever you can do, and if you can't be out in nature, imagine you're in nature. She gets that. She resonates on an alpha state, the same state that we were in with the beautiful meditation given by Reverend Rosie. Thank you so much for that. That was lovely. But that's the state that she's in. Now I don't know about when there's a hurricane or blizzard, but yeah, so honoring that. And then we have our divine mother, our cosmic mother, the feminine aspect of God, mother, nurturer, that is with us all the time. When I give my equinoxes and my solstices, I always, there's about a half an hour guided meditation, but we do a lot of work in it. And one part of it, I have people go in and thank your angels and your guides. And you've got your divine mother to thank for all the ways it has helped you that you didn't even know. You didn't know that you avoided a car wreck because you didn't have it. You didn't know that you avoided tripping because for some reason they kind of tapped into you, hey, look down, and you didn't realize you were being guided, you were being helped. And we never give them proper thanks because we don't know how they helped us. When we do know, we think, oh my goodness, thank you so much for that miracle. Then we go, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just the other day, I go, oh, thank you, God, this is great, this is fantastic. I love this kind of surprise. You know, when you look in your bank and you have more money than you thought, it's like, where did that come from? And then I thought, well, what, did an angel put that in there? How did that get in there? Because I know I don't have, and then I look down, you know, at the deposit, tax return. They automatically, but they don't tell you, hey, we're putting it in your bank. So I thought, I don't care where it comes from, that's great, so thanks. We know that, but we don't know all the other ways they help us, so they deserve our gratitude. So I'm gonna have you close your eyes for just a real quick minute here. And I want you to go deep into your heart. And I want you to put your hands, both hands, on your heart. Take a deep breath and a beautiful exhale. And I want you to imagine a beautiful, loving light, which is your divine mother that is coming into your heart, nurturing you, loving you, guiding you, caring for you, healing you. You have this mother with you always. It joins with your physical you, your earth mother you. It also joins with you being your own mother, so that you are always taken care of, always nurtured and guided. And take a breath and just feel this love and warmth come through your heart. Go deep into your whole body. Just feel this glow and this feeling of safety and security, and that all is well. It's just like a mother and her baby, and you're being rocked and soothed, and the mother is touching the baby's forehead, calming it, and humming a lullaby, and you're safe. You are safe, and you're so loved. You're so protected. And your world is being safe and protected. And you feel a beautiful glow over the top of your head come in, where higher information and wisdom is being given to you to lead you into the right circumstances and experiences in your life that fulfill your soul. And their guidance is always there. Just take a deep breath and feel that beautiful love in your heart. And now see it manifest as a beautiful rose inside your heart, any color you like. And it's blooming, and it's iridescent, and it holds love, joy, peace, and wisdom for you. And so it is. And just take a deep breath and feel wonderful. And then you can gently come back into the room. Thank you so much. And you have a lot to think about coming up to Mother's Day.
Told you she was special. Thank you